time for the fantasy football girl.
Now we move on to busts. These are the guys that, you know, any other week you might want to put in your lineup, but this week, not so much. Emmanuel Sanders versus the Seattle Seahawks defense. Look, the Chargers did win their game against the Seahawks in an upset, and the Broncos actually beat the Seahawks in their third preseason game. But can we really forget what the Legion of Boom did to the Broncos in the Super Bowl?
It was the biggest snoozer you've ever watched, right?
They completely obliterated them, and I don't think that's going to happen again this week, but I still don't want to... Let's hope not. Yeah. But I still don't want to play Sanders or Welker because as hard as it is to bench any of Peyton Manning's receivers, and we're not saying to bench Demaryius Thomas or Julius Thomas, please don't do that.
Play them every week.
It's worth it because their talent can surpass most defenses. But what they're probably going to do is put those two on the opposite side of the field as cornerback Richard Sherman.
So Emmanuel Sanders and Wes Welker, if he plays, if he's not,
if he's not still suspended,
we'll take all the heat in the kitchen.
That's right. That's right. And how good is Richard Sherman?
I mean, besides his mouth being able to eat you alive, he's pretty good.
He's good.
Everybody's scared of him, except for Philip Rivers, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone's scared of him for good reason.
Down to the 50-yard line by Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman! Touchdown! Holy smoke!
He has only allowed one touchdown last season.
Just a lot.
And he's probably really pissed about that one.
He's not bragging about it, that's for sure.
No, he's very humble.
I'm the best corner in the game!
But I don't really want my guys going up against someone who basically doesn't allow touchdowns at all.
That's a waste of my time! That's a waste of my time! Not strong enough! You need to lift a little more.
Yes, in week 2, as you mentioned, Philip Rivers did throw in his direction. He completed 5 passes for 60 yards, which is great.
But it's good.
It's good, but it's not going to win you your fantasy competition this week. 60 yards isn't quite going to cut it. And look, I'm not saying that Manning's going to do the same thing as Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers completely avoided that side of the field in week 1.
Yeah, and look where it got him. You know, nowhere.
Didn't work out so well for them.
No.
In any case, anyone who's playing opposite Richard Sherman and the Seahawks passing defense in general, I'm not really going to play them. Sanders and Welker are busts this week.
Okay, let's talk about another bust. My man, Victor Cruz, who was on my bench this last week, and I'm actually pretty happy about it. Because in week 1, he had 2 catches and a measly 26 yards.
Yeah, it was ugly.
You would think that Eli and the offensive coordinator would have more utilized him in the game.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know, what do you do when you complain? You get more targets the next week. Victor Cruz, big complainer, whiny baby, didn't get enough targets.
Hey, look, I would whine if I were him too.
Yeah, he is the best player.
He's their best receiver. They threw to him 6 times. Are you kidding me? Come on, if you want to win a game, you're going to have to make bigger plays, and he's the guy to do that for you.
Exactly. But, you know, when you cry about it and you get targeted more in week 2, maybe you should catch the ball.
Yeah.
Yes, he did get them up to the red zone. You know,
yeah, he helped set them up. He made some good catches in the first half.
He did, but he missed some targets in the end of the game. He missed this really high ball, which he's usually infamous for catching. Yeah. So it's kind of upsetting. Don't bet on him this week. They're going against the Texan defense, which is a very tough defense, especially in the passing defense. They do give up some touchdowns. They're infamous for that too.
Yeah, last year they gave up 29 touchdowns.
Exactly.
So you can score against them in the passing game. Victor Cruz isn't really the guy catching the touchdown,
which is unfortunate. Ruben Randall, one of my men on
your bench?
Yeah, my bench. He actually caught one. But you know what? They were both hanging out holding hands on my bench because neither one of them were playing. If you want to do the little salsa with Victor Cruz, you know, maybe on the sideline as well. He is a bust this week. Do not play Cruz if I were you. Okay?
Okay.
Salsa dance.
will dance to a better matchup.
Exactly.
All right, our final round of busts are going to be the 49ers and Cardinals receivers versus each other. This is going to be a low-scoring game. You've got two of the best defenses in the league playing against each other. Let's start off with the Cardinals. The Cardinals were tied for 5th in interceptions, 20 last year, and 6th in sacks with 47. What about this year, you ask? Last year is one thing, this year is another. A lot of things can change. But remember week 1 when Phillip Rivers could barely get anything going against the Cardinals?
I mean, the first half, I don't really remember a lot because they didn't go past the 30-yard line on either side.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Great for the Cardinals defense, though.
Yes, it was, and this game looks to be probably similar to that.
Yeah.
We're going to be seeing a lot of defensive action and not much on offense.
San Francisco defense looks pretty good, too. Their first week was good.
Their first week was great. Look, against Tony Romo, they got 3 interceptions, 3 sacks for a loss of 26 yards, and they scored a defensive touchdown, which was pretty awesome.
That was really, they looked like they were like the best defense in the league that week.
Yeah, they were on fire, even with some of their players injured and some suspended.
And going into the second week.
Going into the second week, they started off the second week very strong with a blocked punt that set up a really nice touchdown pass.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you would have thought the game was over after the first half, but guess what?
Yeah, in the second half, they didn't do as well. Cutler threw 3 touchdown passes to Brandon Marshall. It was beautiful for the Bears and very ugly for the 49ers with their first game at home.
But I don't think that's going to happen this week with the Cardinals, with Drew Stanton.
Yeah, especially if Carson Palmer is not playing. He has a nerve issue in his shoulder. He's day-to-day. If it's backup quarterback Drew Stanton again, then you're already going to downgrade your Cardinals receivers. Look, Larry Fitzgerald.
It's great. You know,
He's
you can't
great.
complain with him.
Michael Floyd, rookie John Brown. They've got some weapons, but none of them are Brandon Marshall.
No, I mean, he wasn't even going to play. He was on an injured report, you know?
He was injured, no one was sure if he was going to play, and then he was the man of the game. But I think that the 49ers are going to be playing angry coming back from that Bears loss that they had at home. Look, the 49ers receivers not looking much better against the Cardinals.
And your boyfriend, Vernon Davis, is he injured or what? Who knows if he's playing?
Yeah, I mean, you can't rely on him this week. Keep an eye on the injury report, but even if he is healthy and playing, I'm probably going to bench him for my backup tight end.
And statistically, when he's not playing, Bolden doesn't get catches that much. And he also had like 2 catches last week. Well, Colin Kaepernick sucked. I mean, let's be honest.
Cat didn't have a great game.
Yeah, Kaepernick. He had 3 interceptions and 1 fumble. I mean, what the hell is he doing?
What we're saying is these guys are busts. Bench the 49ers. Bench the Cardinals receivers. Move on to your other guys. They're busts.
Party on the sidelines.
Party on the sidelines. We'll be there with you. Good luck this week.
Fantasize a world where girls don't wanna talk diamonds, pearls. They wanna talk fade routes, outs, and curls. Time for the fantasy football girls. Time for the fantasy football girls.